Whew. Good morning, Market Sniper. This is Jesse. We are back. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, so we'll probably have to knock off some rust. We'll probably stutter or lose my train of thought a million times going through it, but we'll see if we can get back on the saddle, take a look at some charts. First half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, probably some futures, NASDAQ, all that stuff. And then the second half of the live stream, make sure to put in your comments which assets you'd like me to chart. Some people on a previous post put in their requests, so I'll see if I can find those. If not, repost it. I saw, like, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Palantir, CRV, stuff like that. So see if I can remember and just remind me. I'm getting old, so I can't remember everything. Got to write some stuff down nowadays. Looks like the mic is on. I think what was the record when I did? I said that I would do live streaming for 1 year, and I did. I stuck to it. Every day that the stock market was open, I was going to live stream. So took some time off. The reason why is a few different reasons why, but the main reason why is that I only have so much time and energy in a day. And I went hyper focused on dialing in trading bots, right? So the full automation journey has started 3 years ago. And this last year, a year and a half, 2 years, actually the last 2 years, I've gone deeper and deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. So with that, I've got some like premium bots that I may roll out one day. But I'm using trading bots. You may see like an alert jump on the screen, maybe not, depending how long we're on the live stream. But it's taking trades in the background, right? So if you see an alert, you'll see that it's trading, and I'm not even touching the buy or sell button, right? So, but the plan is, and I haven't rolled it out on the website or anything like that, but shout out to Pilix. He's been a long time market sniper, at least 2+ years. I'll have to ask him how long he's been in there. He's been a beta tester of the premium trading bots over the last year and a half. Amazing work he's done over there. He's much more tech savvy than I am, so he's agreed to help me roll all this automation out. And he even helped me. There was 10 beta testers roughly in the trading bot, the premium trading bot, and there was probably 60 or 70 people that signed up on the wait list, but I only agreed to take on 10, and then so we still have the same 10. But anyways, he helped onboard like 5 of them, right? So there is some setup that is required. I'm not tech savvy, so it took me a little bit longer to figure it out. I mean, in my opinion, compared to like the younger guys out there are much more tech savvy than I am. They grew up with internet. They grew up with the iPhone. They grew up with all that stuff. We didn't. Us Generation Xers. I'm 46. Didn't grow up with it. We had dial-up when I was like 15, so it's not the same. But so according to, if I compare myself to them, I'm not tech savvy. So anyways, long story short, he's helping me out with that. He's actually revamping the website, making it cleaner, easier. He's automating the setup process. I lose track of it. I'm not good at day-to-day stuff, especially when I was treating it more like a hobby. And so we're going to go full automation. And I've probably created like 30 trading bots over the last 3 years. There's probably been like, without exaggeration, 50, 80, 100 versions of each trading bot or revisions of each trading bot. So I'm going to start off rolling out 2, and then and the third one probably within a week. There's just only so much time in the day, but it's going to be $49 only. So 100% full automation. What I noticed is that you could have the exact same strategy as I do, You could have the exact same indicators, the exact same plan. And at the end of the day, emotions still get the best of most of us, right? So the most of us, whether that's 80%, whatever, get out of the trade too early, even though it says don't. Stay in the trade too long, even though the chart's telling you to get out, blah, 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 blah. So whatever reason it is, you're too in tune with the narratives out there. You're watching too many people on experts on Twitter, and you're looking at 20 different indicators, whatever the case may be. XYZ politician posts XYZ, and so there's a lot of distractions out there. And the whole point of starting the Discord was to block out the noise, right? Even blocking out the noise, you still let the noise creep in, or for whatever reason, most don't make it trading themselves due to emotions. So that's what I learned early on when I was doing the live coaching. And then I only did live coaching for 2 months. And then everything I did a live coaching, I recorded it. And you could still get the recorded coaching and the 2 indicators for $79 a month. But that's probably going to go away this week. I don't know which day, but this week is going to go away. And so, whoever's still doing the recorded coaching will still have access to all those videos. We'll still have access to the 2 indicators, but that's all going away, and I'm going to drop to full automation, $49 a month. And I'm just going to start rolling out all the trading bots I came across. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm going to just keep making trading bots. And what I found is Apilix, shout out to Mike G. We've got some really good people who have more time than I do to find better trading settings on each trading bot. So if I just roll out 30 trading bots, 2 to start, I have an idea of the third one that I'm going to roll out as well. It just takes time. I'm confident someone's going to find better settings than I do. I'm not overconfident that I find the best settings. And it's been proven by Apilix and Mike and stuff. They find better settings than I do. So if we have a bigger group of people all working together to find the best settings on each trading bot, I think we can do some really big things. So with that, let's just not keep rambling about it, but I'm just letting you know where all my time has gone. Of course, also have a 15-month-old baby. There's things, even though we have a nanny from 7:30 to 3:30, and the live streams are at 9, sometimes nannies don't show up and you need a backup nanny. So anyways, it's a whole thing, but we're good right now. And I feel confident that we're not going to have any nanny interruptions and all that stuff. So I think it's all systems go. I think I'm going to do my best to live stream every day. And, now that I'm not so hardcore on finding the magic pill on trading bots, I feel like I'm in a very good place on that. So I'm going to focus more on the live streams, X, Discord, and then rolling out those trading bots. So that's where the focus is going to be going. So with that, what's up, everybody? Let's see. We go live at 9. Let me get rid of some of the banners. Let's get rid of that. Good morning, Marcus Embers. Welcome back. Live stream. On today's live stream, we'll cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, charts. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Help me, help you, help me. Ooh, that's a good one. Still remember that one. Reminder, comment, and asset you would like us to cover. Boom. Comments. Wes Diddy. What's up, my man? Javier, long time no see. Javier was on like the original live streams. It's good to see you still on here. Happy Monday. Yep. We got some new people or new names possibly, or I don't remember. Sorry if I don't. Vandenberg, Ondo. Yeah, some altcoins for the next half. Got it. Let's get it. All right. Arnold, long time market sniper over there. a long time market sniper since day one. When did you get into the Discord? It was at least 2.5 years ago. At least 2.5 years ago. The Discord's only been around 3.5 years. No, yeah, 3.5 years. So maybe 3 years, maybe more. I don't know. Arnold's been in there from day one. That's all I know. Good to see you on here, Arnold. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yo, yo, yo. Okay. All right. So this is the Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin chart. Well, like I said, we'll cover Bitcoin. We are going to cover some altcoins, stocks, futures. We'll just take a look at it. Last week was crazy. You know, sometimes the best offense is defense. That's what they say in like football and stuff like that. So what does that mean for trading? Well, you can be super hyped up and let the emotions get the best of you, and you're not seeing the charts clearly. I've fallen victim to that in the past. I do my best to stay balanced. And so what happens is when you get over bias in one direction, or you get over bullish or over bearish in either direction, and what happens is you start taking crazy risk, right? You get overconfident and you take crazy risk. So what you do is, I've seen the stories many times over. I took my full savings and my sister's savings and I put it in with leverage on XYZ Bitcoin, XYZ altcoin, went all in, and then I got liquidated. It's a tough lesson to learn. You're not going to hear me say, I'm sorry, poor you, right? Nobody said that to me when I lost everything. Nobody said it to me. Not sometimes. Tough love is still love, right? So if we talk about it and you don't hear that I'm sorry for you, I'm talking about it because it sucks, right? And you'll get through it. You don't need to, I've seen people or heard people, I've heard people take their own life, stuff like that. So it's not as bad as we initially think. It's pretty bad when I lost everything, right? I never was suicidal because at the end of the day, money is just a tool. But it was hard. It was hard. It wasn't even the losing the money part that got me. I was overconfident in the real estate market. I was all in on mortgages and real estate and doing fix and flips. And then the housing crash of 2007, 2008. And I went back to zero. And again, it wasn't the money. It was, I had crunched the numbers 1,000 times. The fix and flips were working. The mortgage pipeline was full. Real estate was flowing. Everyone was all in, except for one guy, one old guy. It was like late 70s. He's like, Jesse, don't buy anymore. I'm like, so I heard him, but I didn't listen to him. And why? I was overconfident, and Mike's good. Yep. I was overconfident, and I was like, he's an older gentleman. I think he was like 78, 80 years old. I think he was he's like, Jesse, I've been through 7 cycles before. This is not the time to buy. And I thought, since I've done the numbers 1,000 times, multiple fix and flips that worked out in my favor, mortgage pipeline full, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, he's just too cautious in his golden years, right? And so I heard him. I just didn't listen. And he was the only one in my sphere and the news and all that stuff. He was the only one that was like, don't buy right now. And I kept doubling down. And then we know what happened after that. So not worth taking your own life. And, mentally for me to get over, until I came up with this phrase, myself, I wasn't really over it mentally, like confidence wise. When you go from winning to losing overnight, and I was in my mid 20s, 27 when it all happened, until I came up with a phrase, education is expensive. I just had an expensive education. Until I came up with that, I didn't forgive myself, right? I was like, how did I miss it? How did I miss it? And I kept playing back his words, all that. So long ramble longer, right? If you lost everything, that sucks. I've been there before, but you can get through it, and no need to take your life over it. There's other things that are worse off in life. You know, my sister losing a baby, what was it, 25 years ago, stuff like that. So much worse things in life I could imagine that people have been through, and they still survive it. So at the end of the day, it's just money. The initial shock is crazy. It sucks, but you can't get over, you can't be too biased. You can't get too bullish, you can't get too bearish. See the charts as they are. And the only way to do that is to block out the noise. So with that, let's get into it. Monday's a new day. That was last week. And let's get going. So Bitcoin. Let's do a quick recap of what's going on, right? Let's do a quick recap. Let's see. Did I smash the like over here? I'm pretty sure I did. Home. Right. Yep. Got it. All right. So hit the like on that. Hit the like button. Repost it, and throw in a comment. That always helps out. Oh, I don't Wyckoff, but let's trigger some Bitcoin permabulls just for fun. Why do I say I don't Wyckoff? I don't Wyckoff, and I think it's pronounced. Everyone says Wyckoff, but I think it's pronounced Weekoff, right? But we won't get into all that. So the reason why I say that is I don't trade just based off of patterns, right? I think patterns can be used as ideas, similar to fractals can be used as ideas, similar, head and shoulders, falling wedge, blah, blah, blah. I don't base my trades only off of that. I'll use them as an idea. But my thought process was this. Let's see. You see my this was looking like a topping pattern, right? This was looking like a topping pattern, and so back here in April, yes, we were bearish in February and March. It's true. We were bearish February, March. There were signs that we could go even lower, but then there was bullish divergence. Like April 11th, I posted the chart, and then it started to reverse, and then we were back bullish on that move. And then when it starts going through a topping pattern like this, and there's longer term bearish divergence, which there could be continued bearish divergence, and we saw that play out on the weekly chart. There is long-term bearish divergence. On the daily chart, there's bearish divergence. Blah, blah, blah. So when I'm pointing out warning signs of possible reversal, possibly going back down, even back over here, there is bearish divergence followed by a possible lower high. It was not confirmed over here. I even pointed that out. I said, will this be a higher low or will this be a lower high, right? So we were somewhere in between. And many people get confused because they just want, or the reply guys just get confused and they just want to, if you would understand what I'm talking about, if you took like the full 60 plus hours and you spent 60 plus hours listening to me talk about all this stuff, the psychology, the charts, take profits, moving the stop losses to break even, blah, blah, blah. 60 plus hours. Can't get it all into a quick tweet or a post on X, right? You're not going to figure it all out. So we were talking about, so after that move up, there was bearish divergence, a breakdown, and then this was a possible lower high or a possible higher low, somewhere in between, right? I don't have a magic crystal ball. And we also know that there's still billions of long liquidations below, about 5 to 10x more. And we also know that there were like 1 to 2 billion of short liquidations above. So from right here, that was a quick short squeeze above, and you can see it took out the high right there, creating additional bearish divergence. Now, we don't know if that was going to be like something similar to a Wyckoff distribution event or not, but as an idea, and I say I don't Wyckoff because I don't care about being a Wyckoff expert, because I've seen so-called Wyckoff experts even back in 2021 calling out moves, and then it did the exact opposite, right? And these were experts. They built their whole Twitter account based off of Wyckoff patterns. And I was like, no, I think it's going the opposite direction. And it did. In hindsight, the Wyckoff was dead wrong, right? And it was a 50% move in the opposite direction. So I don't Wyckoff, and that's why I say that, is because patterns alone isn't enough for me. I think they work out 50% of the time in the correct direction. It's a 50-50. So you need other reasons why. And then I think it's about 30 to 35% that the targets actually get hit if you only use the pattern itself, right? That's my own personal belief based off of obsessing over charts for countless amount of hours. I don't have any real data to back that up other than what I've just seen myself. So that's why I don't Wyckoff, but let's trigger some Bitcoin bulls anyways. The price was 123,740. And in hindsight, when it started to break back down and losing this area, it went straight down to like the 112. And this line chart doesn't show wicks, right? So wick higher and wick lower, depending on what exchange you're looking at. This is Bitstamp, but on Binance, as an example, it went down to 102,000, maybe slightly lower. So it wicks down, but this doesn't show the wicks, right? So it looks very close to that 110, 109 area for closing. And then I drew out a possible bounce, still not making a lower low. But if it creates a lower high here, it will be confirmed once there's a lower low here, right? So just keeping all of that in mind. So as we progress through, price dropped down, broke below this trend line here very quickly, wicked all the way down to 102, depending on what you're looking at. And then I posted this on the 10th, so 3 days ago. I said bounce here because it just seemed like it was, the wick was already pushing up, and it just seemed like it could close here. It would fool, the bias. If you're bullishly biased, it would fool more because it never closed below, right? Never closed below here, never closed below here. And if it were to close back above here, it would continue to fool the biased people out there. And I pointed out that at the time, it could be a bearish engulfing weekly candle, and it closed just high enough to not be a bearish engulfing candle. So take that for what it is. Will it stay on track here? We don't know. Again, we don't have a magic crystal ball. But what we do know is if it does make a lower high, it will be confirmed in hindsight, right? So if this creates a lower high and then it closes down here below these pivot points, say that was about 109,000, 108, I don't know, I have to look at it. That would confirm the lower high with the lower low. And then you would hope for a bounce one last time to get out. So I posted back here a couple days ago. I was like, if we get a bounce on Bitcoin and altcoins, well, I don't know about altcoins. We'll have to look at those separately. But if we get a bounce on Bitcoin, it may not be high enough for people who are greedy, but it may be your last chance to get out, at these higher prices. And so we'll see what happens. So let's take a look at the progression again. Sure enough, it bounced there, right? And it's right around here. Again, not showing the wicks. Will it roll over exactly like this? I never expected to play out exactly. Like I even wrote out the squiggly lines here, similar to here, and it didn't happen. It just went straight down, had one lower high. So never expect a fractal to work out exactly the way it is. And but it's eerily similar as of right now. So the overall point is this could have just been taken out on a short squeeze, the leverage short liquidations. This took out long liquidations, bounce, and then if it comes all the way down here to like the 76,000, all that, now it gets in a different kind of liquidations. Like that was taking out this move up and this move down took out high leverage and some smaller leverage too, but they must have bought really, really poorly if that's the case. But there's a lot of 3x, 5x, and 10x leverage way down here, billions. I think 19 billion roughly got wiped out. There's another 10 billion down there. So, we'll see what happens. But it's eerily similar. You can see it was bouncing right around there. So this is all mapped out in advance. It's not the hindsight crew. So sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I don't like off, so I don't take I take it as just an idea. I don't put all my eggs in one basket based off of that. I never go all in anyways. So with that, that's kind of the backstory. So here we are on the Bitcoin daily chart. And let's see. In my opinion, let's see. That's still additional bearish divergence on this possible topping pattern. See, that was even down to oh yeah, that's Binance, down to 102, but closed up here. So closed above, still giving hope to the perma bulls, right? So they're still very hopeful, and but it made a higher high, and possibly could be a higher low. So but there's other reasons why. Like you got the RSI sell signal, you got the weekly, right? That's an ugly weekly candle, but didn't close below the 112 that I pointed out. But you've got some other signals here of why the top could be in, and here's why. You've got bearish divergence long term. It's part of the recorded coaching. You can learn all that stuff. But like I said, it's going away this week. So if you're already in recorded coaching, you're grandfathered in, and you'll always have access to those coaching videos. But like I said, we're going more automation now, and on everything, the setup, the website, and the trading bots, right? It's going to be not 100% automated for setup, but I think it's going to get like 95% automated. So you don't have to rely on me or someone else getting back to you like a Pillix, and you'll be able to do everything on your own, which is better for me, you, everybody involved. But if you get a weekly close below here, like it could have been a bearish engulfing and close below there, how much more confirmation do you want? How much do you need? We had bearish divergence, RSI sell signal, price went lower. It wasn't the top, but it was a local top that dropped 32%. RSI sell signal, price dropped 30%. So is this move over? According to the weekly chart, it's not. It dropped 19%. If it's just a local top, this this bull run's pretty long in the tooth. It's been a long run since down here. It's been a long run since me calling out bullish divergence, and the bottom is in. The first week of January when we had a buy signal on the weekly chart. January 4th, I was taking my first leverage long at 16,800. It's been a long time since then. It's been more than 2.5 years, right? 2 years and 2.75 of a year since the first leverage long back here. So many forget I was getting a lot of bearish hate when I was bullish at 16,800. Then when you start getting up into long-term bearish divergence, some of the best offense is defense. So I'm staying defensive. Even if I took this long here coming out in April, like I did, based off of the daily chart swing, I'm still cautious that there's long-term bearish divergence. And I'm not really bullish like I was. I was really bullish coming out of here, right? Bullish coming out of here, showing the micro strategy, breaking out to the upside first, right? The canary in the coal mine, all that stuff. MicroStrategy has been in a bear market since the end of 2024, right? Bitcoin usually follows. It has followed so far. So their relatives, even though prices have been going higher, and not by a lot. It's not like we went parabolic, but it's enough. If you're buying down here, right? 16,800 for waiting for a higher probability of a reversal. It's a massive move, 750%. Is it the 2017, multiple thousands of percent? No, it's not. Even in 2021, I was saying on Twitter that I think it's lesser to the upside and lesser to the downside. It's still proving that today. So it's more than enough for me. If you're looking at bottoms and then you're looking at bearish divergences at the top, there's bullish divergence at the bottom. There's long-term bearish divergence at the top. So eventually price is going to catch up with the weekly chart relative strength index, making lower highs eventually, right? So when we don't have a magic crystal ball. So sometimes the best offense is playing defense. And if you're just all in to the upside, full leverage, you're asking to get liquidated. I've been liquidated, but it was in a different market. It was in real estate. I got liquidated, right? So, tough lessons to learn. I'm the old guy. I'm the 78-year-old, 80-year-old real estate guy who's been through 7 cycles, saying, I'm not bullish here. I was bullish here. I was really bullish coming out of here. And then, as time gets and price gets pushed higher and higher, I become less bullish, right? It's just the way I am. So once you've gone through a major experience like that, you're gonna naturally play defense, and I'm not gonna ever apologize for that, ever. Sometimes I can be seen as a jerk, and so I do apologize for that. That's just my natural competitive self. Still in my mid-40s, still competitive. I still don't let nieces and nephews win. I still don't. You can blame my family for that. So that's Bitcoin. That's the weekly chart. I drew this out. We don't know, but if this is going to play out or not, right? It's just an idea, similar to the Wyckoff idea. Do I expect it to play out exactly the same as 2022? Definitely not. I definitely don't think it'll play out the same as 2022. Do I think it'll be lesser to the downside? Yes. However, with one asterisk, as they say, one caveat to the that is, if there was ever a major stock market crash, then I think Bitcoin and altcoins go much lower. I don't see Bitcoin as digital gold. I haven't seen it as digital gold. I haven't seen anything to continue to say that it's digital gold. If you ever did say that, could it be one day? Sure. Right now, it's highly speculative. And could it have been digital gold if no leverage was ever introduced? I believe it could have been. Actual gold could be a hedge against the dollar. It's proven that. But also, there's paper Bitcoin created. There's paper gold created. So the prices aren't what they seem. A lot of this price has been pushed higher because of leverage, right? Even MicroStrategy, or AKA strategy now that they call it, use leverage through stock to buy more Bitcoin. So there's so many different levels of leverage. Even if people bought spot Bitcoin, they may have taken out a loan, and that is leverage. However, they took out the loan, personal loan, out of the 401k loan, like who knows what they did. If you do 2x leverage, 5x leverage, 10x leverage, really high leverage, it all pushes price higher. If there's options or there's Bitcoin futures, right? That's all leverage. So a lot of times price gets pushed up because of leverage. And I put out a post a long time ago. I think it was back over here when there was bearish divergence, that an unpopular thought is that the true value of Bitcoin and assets is the 200-week moving average. Why do I say that? Eventually, price comes back to the 200-week moving average. When? We don't know exactly. Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Apple stayed away from the 200-week moving average for 5 years, right? And then it retested it. And it retested it on the last 20% market drop. When was that? Like back here? Yeah, like February, March, right? Apple came all the way back down the 200-week moving average, and it hadn't retested it for 5 years. So that's why I say it's a true value. Because if it gets too far extended to the upside, like a rubber band, if you pull out the rubber band too far and you let go, price comes back. The rubber band snaps back, right? So once it gets multiple deviations away from the 200-week moving average, it's a very slow moving average. And it's currently at, what is that, $54,000, right? So do I think Bitcoin is going to zero? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to zero. Do I think it's going to, $1,000? No, I don't. But do I think it's going to stay multiple deviations away from the 200-week moving average? No, I don't. So my thought is it's eventually going to retest the 200-week moving average. In the past, it's gone in past bear markets that last 1 year, and we don't know if it's going to continue to keep the cycle going, these cycles going, but it would go down 30% below the 200-week moving average. It would hit 5 out of 5 targets to the downside. So will it continue to do that, or will it be lesser to the downside and maybe just retest the 200-week moving average, maybe hit target 4, maybe even spike below target 4, and then come back up, right? So maybe it doesn't come all the way down here. Maybe it does. These are just targets of where price has gone in the past. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future, but has hit these targets many times over, right? So it's some of the things that I trust the most. So we'll see what happens. But retesting 200-week moving average will happen. We just don't know when. And as it continues to go over weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, the 200-week moving average could be, if you're looking at it, you know, if you kind of eyeball the trajectory, right? If it took a year, it could be at 62,000. It could be at $66,000, right? By that time. And then if it were to go like, 10% below and still hit target 4, right? Or 15% below, who knows, right? Maybe find support over here. That's still 55,000. And like I said, all that is off the table if there is a bigger stock market crash. And if there isn't a bigger stock market crash, then, I'm saying like if there was like a 80% .com stock market crash, I would expect Bitcoin to drop 90%. Even Amazon dropped 90% back then. Intel, all that stuff dropped 90%. So do I think Bitcoin would do the same. But if there isn't, then and the stock market drops 20 to 30%, then I think it's just on its normal. Like the stock market dropped 20 to 30% and Bitcoin went down 70. That's from wick to wick. That was 77.5%. So that's where we're still at. If it came all the way down from wick to target 4, right? That's 55%. I mean, target 5, 68%. So I think if stock market drops 20, 30%, that's what I think it would happen. So we're not there yet. There's a lot of work to do, right? Way before that. But if it were to play out similar to 2022, could come down, hit two targets, bounce for a couple of months, right? And come all the way down. It would take time to play out. It's a weekly chart that we're looking at here. So it would take some time to play out, and we'll see what happens. That's the weekly chart. Let's see. No sell signal yet, but there was a candle close below the trailing dots. There was an RSI sell signal. There's long-term bearish divergence. So no, I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. I was bullish at 16,800. It's looking very top heavy, right? Very top heavy. It was top heavy back here. It was top heavy here, and there was a local top and dropped 30%. So I don't think the bottom's in, but we don't have any confirmations yet. We only have a lower high on the daily chart yet. So we're going to stay neutral. We're going to stay neutral with leaning towards being bearish because there was no bearish golfing candle. We can delete that. But we're leaning bearish due to the weekly chart having bearish divergence. We're leaning bearish because there's an RSI sell signal. We're leaning bearish because it's multiple deviations away from the 200-week moving average. We're leaning bearish because the $200,000 post by tomorrow. We're leaning bearish because $500,000 Bitcoin by end of Q4, which is we're in Q4. So those are all reasons why, right? It was a good run. We just don't have any confirmations yet. So we'll see how it plays out and continue to see all the hate mail. But if we let that get us down, we would have stopped a long time ago. So with that, that's Bitcoin. Let me see. There's a lot of comments here. So let me just see if there's any comments before we jump on to altcoins. Dang, 44 minutes. I thought this was going to be like 30 to 45 minutes. I even told my wife that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump on. It's the first live stream. I haven't done it in a long time. So I'll probably do like 30 to 45 minutes to get my feet wet and stumble through everything. But it's a lot to talk about. But we're going to keep going as long as I can. I'll know when I hit the wall. Trust me. I'll know when I hit the wall. Let's get to it. Oh, you don't like the ramble? Oh, well, you got to get comfortable with the rambles. Or don't. That's up to you. What's your opinion on gold going to? I mean, it's just still ultra bullish, right? There's nothing I can't say anything about gold, right? And I put out a chart. What was it? Gold. Let's gold futures. Where's spot gold? I put out a chart 2 years ago about gold hitting these higher targets based off of higher time frames, like the monthly chart and the 3-month chart too. It's just insane. I'm gonna spend a lot of time. There it is. Got it. Okay. So it's crazy, right? It's ultra bullish. So you don't hear me talking about calling tops or anything, right? Here, let me see. There was a buy signal on the weekly chart. See, this is a monthly chart. I had done this cup and handle way back. It was right here. No, I think around the monthly buy signal. Somewhere in, I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but 2023 or yeah, I think it was 2023, somewhere around there. I drew up this long time cup and handle, right? And the point was, once it starts breaking this area here on this pattern, then it was possible to come up, hit this target. It looks different when it's on log, but I'm not going to switch to log because I'll probably forget to switch it back. But on log, on a log chart, it looks different. And that's why I will look at gold. Like a monthly chart, I'll look on log, right? So when it hit this, these were laid out I think 2 years ago, at least 2 years ago. This was laid out and this target, and it smashed through it. It's been ultra bullish on the monthly chart since April 2024. And it's still ultra bullish. So if things change on Bitcoin, I will change my thoughts. If the Bitcoin chart changes or it looks like something like this, I will change. And people are going to say, oh, you flip. I'm just telling you what I see in the charts as of right now. So I just try to stay unbiased, right? Because gold is flying, right? Did I have higher targets than this? I did, but I didn't even put them on the screen. So I'm not going to take credit for them, but that's the monthly chart. The 3-month chart is wild too. And I did point out on the 3-month chart before it flipped ultra bullish on the 3-month chart, I was pointing out over here, and it could last a long time, right? So from here, I didn't know if it would or not, but 327%, that's 6-year move until it peaked that wick all the way up here, right? That's a 6 years of ultra bullish. If you look at the buy signal on the 3-month chart for gold, that was a 9-year bull run. A 9-year bull run, right? That's massive. It's only 500%, right? So Bitcoin, pumping 650%, much more swing trading opportunity there, in my opinion, than holding. Like if you don't want to swing trade and you're like, oh, I'm just going to hold investment long term and set it and forget it, that's probably more for you. And then you look at last buy signal on the 3-month chart down here on gold, 2018. We're at a 7-year bull run for gold, and it's pumping ultra bullish on the 3-month chart. So there's a lot of similarities going all the way back to 2002, 325% to the top wick, and right now it's at 220%. So I'm personally not calling, to be bearish on gold. At some point, you'll hear me start talking about it, but it's just this long-term trend is just so crazy right now. But if you're talking about on the day, so I just wanted to this is the day. The day is just ultra bullish right now. So don't fight the trend. It's just ultra bullish, and at some point it might put in bearish divergence. At some point there's going to be a correction. It's not up forever, but there's no shorting's not even on my radar for this. So that's gold. Wasn't able to catch up. Watched it in replay. Cool. Yes, I was there, and you didn't realize that you might mute. Oh yeah. Mic was off. I feel like it was at least 20 minutes. RJ, yes. Long-time market sniper and one of the few beta testers. Got some big things happening, RJ. We're going to be rolling out soon. So I'm sure you'll be a part of all that. So cool to see you on here, my man. BTC, D, ETH, Render, Gert, Jan, Tenho. Been a long time. Yep. Good to be back. Wow, 50 minutes. I haven't even got to altcoins yet. So with that, let's just jump in. Obviously, want to save some energy for some chart requests. Could also do more chart requests heavy tomorrow, or in the Discord. I can do them in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, just tag me, and I can do a bunch of chart requests there too. Because I'm going to be more active all around Ethereum. So Ethereum has hit 3 out of 4 targets to the downside so far. You can see that, this was most likely bearish divergence. Then it looked like a lower high. This is a lower low confirming that lower high. Pumped all the way back up, made another lower high, and then came all the way back down and made another lower low, confirming this lower high. And you can see this trend line here. I was posting it on Twitter on the 4-hour chart, right? Possible head and shoulders. So I put this line here and put this target out, that a target of this small head and shoulders, and then it just kept dumping all the way down, right? It was getting oversold. Boom, liquidations happening. So this all happened before all the liquidations, right? So this is why I don't get caught up in the narratives. You can't blame a black swan. If you do, you just want excuses, right? It's natural to have excuses, want to have excuses and not admit that you're wrong, right? But I'm not going to let you off the hook, right? So depending on how aggressive, right? So if you got a sell signal in the 4-hour chart and it's looking like a possible head and shoulders, right? Sell signal way back on Tuesday, October 7th on the 4-hour chart, came down, bounced up a little bit, back into the trending dots. Trending dots were down, right? And then it starts breaking this trend line for the head and shoulders, and then boom, another drop. So even from here, even on the trading bot, one of the trading bots that I'm going to be releasing, if you put the filter on, so a lot of people are like, oh, your signals, blah, 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 they just don't understand because they haven't gone through the 60 plus hours of recorded coaching. And then they just don't, they just shoot from the hip, right? They're not taking sniper shots. They're just shooting from the hip. So on the automated trading bot, one of them that I'm going to be rolling out for the $49, it would take this sell here, and assuming the filter is on, it would disregard this buy here because it's below the trending dots, and it would hold in there until either your take profit was taken or there's other filters on there to get out that you can select on. So however you set up the trading strategy, I'm not, by design, like if I roll out a VIP trading bot, like I have for like beta testers, and I get all that dialed in, then I'm going to tell you exactly the settings that I have it on, like I have in the past, and you can choose to copy those settings if you want. But for the $49 a month, I'm not going to, because someone might find better settings than what I've found, right? And I don't want people to just follow me blindly. Like I want people in there to like do real thinking and real stuff like that, where they figure something out. Maybe they share it with the group. Hopefully they share it with a group. And I'm hoping you find something better than I do, right? But for example, the trading bot, like if you were shorting, it would, but you don't have to short, right? So for example, if you were doing spot only and you're like, I don't feel comfortable shorting, I don't want to do leverage, blah, blah, blah. On the trading bot, you can select buys only, right? And the sells would just close out your position, right? So for example, if you're spot only and you're never going to short, like you're anti-shorting, I get it, some people are, you would have taken a buy here, and then this short, for example, like if you had no other settings on it, like the settings could be, hey, buy signal, take profit at a reversal, take profit, based off of XYZ on the trading bot, 11%, or wait till there's a sell, right? 8.83%. You could do that too. So if you only took the long and you never take shorts, you would have been in and you would have been out, and this wouldn't have been a buy. So you wouldn't have been, obviously if you're doing spot, you wouldn't have been liquidated, right? But you would have been in on the buy on this 4-hour chart, and you would have been out here with the sell. So that's probably going to be most people's strategy, is especially in the next, if there's a next big bull run and we're starting out at the bottom, that's even going to be my strategy. I don't know what time frame I'll be on. I'm usually on the daily chart, but try to dial it in more and more. Maybe the 4-hour chart's good enough, or even better, or the 8-hour or the 12-hour. There's so many opportunities that you could do that, like the next bull run for spot, crypto. You can do leverage if you want, but for me, I'll be in spot mostly. I was doing 5x leverage long in early 2023. I was doing 10x in 2020 and 2021. I don't think I need it, right? I don't feel that need anymore, but I may or may not. I don't know. I still do leverage with futures, mostly for like NASDAQ futures, stuff like that. So I'm still doing leverage over there. So I don't need to feel like I need to do leverage on every single trade. But yeah, so here we are. That's Ethereum. And you don't know how much is going to be dropped or pushed down, right? So that moves massive. You just don't want to get caught off guard. You want to be able to live to fight another day, right? So you don't want to go all in. If you're not 100% sure about a strategy, even with the trading bot, and sometimes the best strategy is just being on the sidelines. So, as people learn the hard way. That's Ethereum. So big 27% move down. You're looking to, catch a bounce, and we'll see where it goes from there. Daily chart just looks like it's kind of waiting for the trending dots to catch up. So big move down. There's profit taking down here from whoever was shorting that hardcore, billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars exchanged hands, and it was a massive move down. So there's profit taking, let it pump back up, and then they most likely, we don't know for sure, but most likely they would, they're shorting the lower highs, right? They're shorting the lower highs. They let it pump back up, capture some more longs, push it down again. And that's what the pattern is right now. So is the pattern going to reverse? Maybe, but it would take some time to play out. And this big event here usually takes some time for confidence to be restored, right? Usually takes some more time for confidence to be restored. So we'll see. But this bearish divergence has been reset. So now we'll just find out if a lower high is going to be put in and then a lower low, and price comes down and hits target 4 or not, and retest target 3, right? So the first major wick down usually isn't the only wick. So obviously none of the rules are 100%, hard, coded in, right? So you just got to know that, and be aware that most likely it's coming back for a retest. So we'll see what happens. And then target 4, there's a couple reasons why target 4 could be hit. So we'll see what happens from there. And if price starts closing below target 4, then I would say the probabilities continuing to increase. We're going to retest the blue line, but could find support at target 3, could find support at target 4. We'll see how it plays out. But the overall trend is lower highs and lower lows on Ethereum. Probably going to look the same for the altcoins as well. So won't spend as much time on those today, but we'll probably go more altcoins and chart requests tomorrow, just because I spent so much time on Bitcoin and kind of talking through what the events happened and mindset and all that stuff. So man, I was hoping for altcoin season, right? I mean, I really want altcoin season, but if it's going to break out and fake out, and if I bought here and then there's a sell signal, it's okay to take a small loss. You don't want to take a big loss, right? And so I'd rather take a small loss and admit that I'm wrong. So if you're taking buy signals, just make sure you know that to also take sell signals, right? So you don't want to just be biased on taking one, right? So there you go. Came all the way back down on Algo. I just can't hold through all that. So it's crazy, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's going to be a breakout. Still keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance, right? Still keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance, but posted this weekly chart because it could take some time, right? So posted this when it was down here. Bitcoin dominance is over here, and it spiked all the way back up, almost tested the upward trend line, right? These ideas of Bitcoin dominance increasing back up and bouncing after this big move down, bouncing, are based off of targets. It hit all those targets on a wick. And this is based off of just like closes, like this idea. But wicks can be much higher or much lower than when I draw out squiggly lines, right? So this was drawn out before Bitcoin dominance went all the way back up to 63.55. Pretty sure it was back below 59% when I started drawing all these out. Doesn't really matter, but this is the idea, right? The idea was after this big move down, right, we come back up, and however it plays out, I don't know exactly, right? But that was the idea. The idea was that there would be a lower high, right? A lower high. This is what this is showing, a lower high, and it even wicked all the way up. And I didn't have like a the targets drawn out for a wick to be hit, but it would have been higher than target 4, right? This is probably target 5 up there. But the point is bounce and then see a drop. If it does that, you're going to start seeing bullish posts from me on altcoins again, right? Most likely. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes and try to catch it as much as possible. For that, I'll rely on my mom. And so we'll see. So Bitcoin dominance, was that it, right? You can see that it looks on the daily chart, this lower high lines up perfectly with purple. But we don't know if that's if purple is, that's it, right? Because it could come down like this, pump back up to blue, right? And then make its move down. So Elliott wave, people may call this wave 1, ABC correction, right? So we'll see how it happens. But again, I don't Elliott wave, I don't Wyckoff. I just use those as ideas, right? I'm not an expert in those whatsoever. Don't care to be. I don't care to be an expert in Wyckoff or patterns or Elliott wave. So for all the Elliott wave waivers out there, but I do use them as ideas. So I'm not anti, I'm just anti spending the time to be experts on it. So if it lines up with other things that I'm looking at, then I will put it on the chart. So even though the Wyckoff chart looks like it's working out, it's, it's just an idea based off of other things that I'm seeing. So that's BTCD. What else? XRP. So well below the trailing dots, came all the way down to 138-ish, $1.39, right? And it went from like $220 billion asset to like 80 billion. And it didn't take long, right? So if you look at what was this? It's a $216 billion asset pumped up on leverage. And once that leverage disappeared, it went to an $83 billion asset. So a lot of these assets aren't worth what it says because it's based off of leverage, right? So with the leverage, it was 216 billion, but without the leverage, once the leverage is gone and there was short leverage on top of it, it went down to 83 billion. So it's somewhere in between, right? So it's probably somewhere in between 150 billion, whatever, true asset. But again, another possible topping pattern. There is bearish divergences. These could be lower highs, lower low, confirming the lower high, right? And then if you go over the weekly chart, same thing, right? You got longer term bearish divergence. You had a weekly sell signal, weekly bearish engulfing candle. If you're into the candle chart patterns, I'm aware of them. I just don't base everything off of them. So it's just taking all of the chart data on it and looking at it and just saying, right, here, let's do it from here. Right, there you go. So that's a longer term upward trend. That longer upward trend has been broken. So you have all this bearish divergence going on, right? Topping patterns, possible lower high over here on the weekly chart. Looks like it's confirmed with this lower low here, right? You get the trending dots flipped red. Could it come all the way back up? Could price come all the way back up, retest trending dots, and then come back down? Yes, it is possible. So just being aware of that and not just so bearish that you don't see that it can bounce, right? So you have the trending dots up here on the daily chart. That's at 165. Let's go back over to the price. You got over here at $2.78. So it was getting oversold. So profit taking, huge wick down, right? Just massive. So pump all the way back up, put in another lower high, right? Lower low, and then another lower low, and then possibly retest back down here, possibly retest back down here on the 200-week moving average. And that would be a bear market, right? The standard definitions out there for stock bear market is 20% correction without making a new all-time high over 6 months and or both, right? Crypto, there's already 65% drop on XRP. 62.27% on this chart drop. So call it what you want, right? Weekly chart is bearish. 2-week chart, candle closed below the trailing dots. There was a reverse candle on XRP 2-week chart. And we're going to get into a lot more of this on the altcoins. So some altcoins never made a massive run. XRP did. Because once it broke out of the 200-week moving average over here, just look at that. It went multiple deviations above the 200-week moving average, 450%. Could it go higher? Sure, it could. Could just be going through a correction, but as of right now, it's bearish on the daily chart. As of right now, it's bearish on the weekly chart. There was a reverse candle in the 2-week chart, which price goes back to the trending dots. It did close below the trending dots. That's something to be aware of. Chain link, similar thoughts, lower highs, lower lows, went all the way down to below $8. Unbelievable. I couldn't have, that was not my, as they like to say, not on my bingo card, right? Not on my bingo card. Near false breakout, right? Hit the target, retest the target. And don't forget, if you're taking buys, don't forget to hit that sell button, right? Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully have a little bit of fun along the way making fun of me. Someone asked about Ondo. It looks very similar. Lower highs, lower lows. It was getting overbought. Reverse candle. So coming back up in the trending dots. But if you're looking at the weekly chart, it doesn't look great. So waiting for a higher probability reversal. When is that going to happen, right? I don't know. So 2024, was that the top? It had to have been the top on Ondo, right? Because Ondo pumped all the way up to $2.15. And after that wick, down 73%. Has not made a new all-time high. And it's been a year, right? I mean, if you don't call that a bear market, then I don't know what to tell you. Because it pumped, and then there's a reverse candle on the weekly chart, and then you just become a forced hodler. And here you are on Ondo, down 73%, and from the all-time high. And what we've seen on altcoins is that they drop 90%, 95%, 99%, and they go to zero. Some of them go to zero. So just knowing that, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run, right? Kenny Rogers. Weekly chart on H-bar was at the top in January. This is the first top, December 2024. We played this move. My mom flipped her altcoins 300% on spot. Played this move. Wasn't as great. And now there's a weekly sell signal. Price came all the way back down on H-bar. So still hoping for some of these altcoins to flip around. I think the damage has been done, and I think it's going to take some time. Could it bounce back up into the trending dots? Sure. Could this be a lower high? Sure. But as of right now, it's not looking like it, right? So, you got to start drawing out new trends, right? New trends. So everything's showing trends going down since the top of 2025 for H bar. So could it find support and make a move up? It could, right? It could. But what does that look like, right? On a weekly chart, does it take time to play out? Seems like it would take some time to play out. I mean, look at this, right? Took a long time to play out. 2022, 2024, pumped hard, and here we are, right? That was it. QT, no matter how bad you want it, doesn't mean it's going to, right? So back below 200-week moving average, XLM, no matter how bad you want it, it's just back. It's just started dropping back below. I mean, looks like a breakout, possible breakout. If you're hitting that buy signal and it's breaking out to the upside, don't forget to hit that sell signal, even if it's a loss. If you're going off of the signals, you lose 4% on spot. That sucks. But 4% is nothing compared to the drop that had just happened. So from that sell signal, 56%. So, here we are, come back up into here, retested the 200-week moving average. Remember, I talked about it was multiple deviations away from the 200-week moving average, crossed above it at 18 cents back in 2024, round trip 18 cents in 2025. Oh, I'm losing steam. Okay. Let's take a look over here at the Magnificent Seven. TQQQ. You got some gaps down here. Sell signal, 106 put. So still in my short on this TQQ put. The 106 put. It's not an overnight put. It was up massive at the end of Friday, and then you have to make a decision. Are you going to close out your position and lock in those gains, or are you going to see after the bounce if it's going to drop back down? So if it bounces all the way back up, it's going to eat into those gains like it already is. Now there's a new gap here. So you got to add another gap because it gapped up today. Here, it's hard to see it, but you can see it gapped up there. So, but when you get in early enough, you can, the break's even, who cares? Oh, there we go. There we go. I was wondering if the trading bot was gonna alert. It did. Alert. So yeah, there's the trading bot working in the background. I didn't know if it was gonna do it or not because I'm not controlling it. I just set it and check in on it. Woo! You got it. Yeah, just direct message me, RJ. I'm losing steam here, and you're a longtime market sniper, so just direct message me in the Discord, and I'll get back to you. Welcome back. Oh yeah. What else? TQQ. So I mean, I was up big, and maybe I give back all those gains, but like I said, I don't go all in. So even if I give back all those gains, I don't really. I mean, yeah, I don't want to give back all those gains, but at the same time, I think it's worth worth, giving back those gains and seeing if it goes lower. So, I don't go all in on it. TQQ, what else? Tesla, we're in the daily chart, back below the trending dots. You got a gap down here on Tesla. Man, we're going hard today. Smash that like button. Help me, help you, help me. Going hard on our first day back. I did not expect this whatsoever. But yeah, we're talking about this possible breakout. It was a fake out, came back down. In recorded coaching, all of you know that oh, cool. Yeah, so posted this out on earlier, like way back in August. It looked like a fake out. What I've said on recorded coaching videos over and over again, we expect fake outs along the way. We expect fake outs along the way, right? So if you're in and then you have to get out and then you have to get in before the real move happens, we expect that, right? We expect fake outs along the way. If it was just an easy straight line every single time, we would all be billionaires, right? It's not. So we don't pretend that it is. The chart is what it is, and the trading is what it is. And so we just do the best that we can with what we got. So you can see the buy pumps up, sell, comes back down, buy back up, sell, and then the real move happens, right? So even if you took like small wins or small losses a couple times here, this move makes up for it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Like 38% move. So if it's plus or minus 4% here or there, a 40% move in a matter of how many days is that, right? 40%. Now, I didn't take that trade. I posted this, but I didn't take that trade myself. But a 40% move makes up for it real fast. You're talking about 30 days, right? 30 calendar days. NVIDIA, those targets are no longer valid. That gap is still there. So you can delete all these. Sometimes I don't look at these charts for a long time. Only hit one target. So let's see. So I'm still up. I didn't short this. Bearish engulfing candle though. So just being aware. Let's see this. Where's this gap at? There's a gap there, gap down here, blah, blah, blah. So that's NVIDIA. What else? Apple. I looked smart on Apple, telling my mom to get out the day before, like 32 minutes before it closes. I posted that. I was like, Mom, let's close out your Apple position. Where is Apple on here? Oh, there it is. Got it. So yeah, 32 minutes before the close. It was pumping back up a little bit on the lower time frames. I was like, let's close the position. So look smart there. And we'll see what happens. I mean, the high was back there. It's looking like a double top, right? It was looking like a double top. This is what I was talking about. It hadn't retested the 200-week moving average in 5 years, I don't think. 5 years. It came close. Came close in 2024. Came close in 2023. Came close in 2020. So 6 years. It hadn't about 6 years. It hadn't retested 200 moving average. Came close, right? Came close, and then it nailed it, right? So that's why I say the true value. So here we are again, looking like a double top. So going all the way back to, has not made a new all-time high since December 2024. Here we are 11 months later, right? Double top. And that's when I was like, all right, Mom, I think let's just close out your position. It's like one less thing I have to like worry about or think about, right? So closed it out, and then sure enough, price broke down the next day. So just starting to look top heavy. And like I said, the old back. I'm gonna have to cut this loose here, wrap it up in the next couple of minutes. And we'll, if we didn't get to the chart requests and the altcoins, we can always take a deeper dive tomorrow. And we covered Bitcoin a lot, so we don't need to spend all that 45 minutes ranting and raving. The psychology, all that stuff. We can keep Bitcoin to like 15-minute quick update. Spend like 15, 20 minutes on altcoins and the rest all in stocks and stuff in the chart requests. But that's Apple, closed below, bounced up a little bit, let the trending dots kind of roll over, right? So it could take some time. So that's kind of the view I'm looking at. Let's see, SP 500. I don't know what that was. Sell signal, like, and again, there's filters on the trading bots where you could just like put the filter on and it would ignore buy signals underneath and stuff like that. So helps filter it out. And there's more than one filter. There's multiple time filters on each bot that I'm releasing. There will be multiple filters and all the position management tools like stop loss, take profit, trailing stop loss, move stop loss to break even, scaling capability with take profits. So it's not just an indicator turned into a strategy rolled out. It's that these indicators turned into a strategy, added filters, added position management tools. And the goal is, the major reason to roll this out to the masses is that A, I created those bots, so I might as well. But B, I'm betting on someone finding a better setting than me. Someone joining the community, like a Pillix, like Mike G, finding better settings than me. If I'm obsessing over the charts and if I'm obsessing over making new bots and making new bots better, potentially, I need the community obsessing over finding better settings, right? So I just don't have the time to do it. I've done it, but if I'm going to release all these trading bots that are fully 100% automated, and if you're not tech savvy, when we roll out the new version of the website this week, I think we got to do some testing on it first, make sure all the automation's working. I don't want to roll it out too fast. As an old market sniper once said, once you let the toothpaste, shout out to Tom, once you let the toothpaste out of the tube, it's nearly impossible to put the toothpaste back in the tube. So we want to make sure all the bugs are worked out. We want to make sure all the proper testing is done, and we should be able to roll all the automation out this week. And then when that happens, that $79 coaching and all that stuff is just going to be gone, and we're just going to do the $49 trading bot. And I'll have like short videos on how to do settings and set it all up. But if you're not tech savvy or you want to like shorten the learning curve, then you can jump on a call with a Pillix, like a one-on-one video call for like $249, and it's a 1 hour call. And he'll help you. He'll walk you through the entire setup process. So I was doing that for the beta testers, and then Pillix was that's his Discord name. He caught on so fast that I'm like, dude, you should set people up. So that $249, it's a cost because, he's going to get, I'm going to give him a split of that for setting you up and taking the time to do a 1 hour call. But you basically be all set up within an hour, fully capable of doing a trading bot, assuming, I'm not going to tell you which brokers and stuff that we're using to do all of this, but once you pay the $49, you'll have access to all that. So you got to at least pay $49 to find out all of the brokers and the third party and all that stuff. And I'm going to keep the cost low so you can set all that stuff up. But yeah, so SP500 futures had a sell signal. Again, there was bearish divergence at the top. Bearish divergence. It was getting overbought. And then the breakdown. Now, once there's a lower high, that is the higher probability. A lower high is the higher probability. And you know that if you've taken 60 plus hours of recorded coaching. So, but once that disappears, maybe I'll do a little bit more coaching on here. Not just the basics, but once that's gone, it's gone. And the focus changes to 100% automation. And how can we improve the community to find the best settings? There's probably a million different combinations. There's, I'm sure there's data scientists out there that will join the community. I'm sure there's people who will obsess over the settings that will join the community, and all work together to try to find the perfect combination, whether it's spot crypto, or you're going to do leverage, or you're going to do futures leverage trading, stocks. I'm not doing options with the auto trading, but I'm 99% sure you can. I'd have to double check, but I haven't tested it myself, so I haven't tried it. But I've tested. I'm like the bot's going on futures leverage right now. So with that, I'm going to cut off here. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for smashing the comments. Thank you for participating. This is the first one back. Hour and a half. Oh, this is crazy. Went back. I'm going to have to get a little stretching in here. Hour and 38 minutes. So with that, we'll see you tomorrow. Adios, and have a good rest of your day. Hope you had a good weekend.